Hey everyone, Commander Buck Chuck here again, and we are back at Graviteam. Today we're going to be talking about the new updates that have been coming to Graviteam. As you can see here on our tactical battle map, it's certainly not the prearranged grids that it once was. There's a lot of deviations in our front line here. We're going to be playing as the Germans in the main campaign, defending the infamous, probably going to butcher this, Tsar Mohylinsky strategic heights overlooking part of the Donetsk river basin area. And yeah, so as you can see, our defending infantry divisions are in a pretty good commanding location, dug in, overlooking the enemy on these heights. So we're kind of in the middle of a battle here, and without further ado, we're gonna get to it. So, this is some pretty heavy fighting going on in August of 1943 by now. And unsurprisingly, historically speaking, we're probably not going to win this operation. The Soviets broke through and did capture these heights in real life. So, our chances of holding are pretty slim, especially because we kind of have a hasty defense. With the new update, actually, that very much limits your positioning in the beginning of the game, or the beginning of the turn, rather, for the tactical battle. So that's why our platoon of martyrs over here are... Oops. That's why this platoon of martyrs over here is so isolated without any infantry screen. Otherwise, I would have definitely consolidated the line a bit more. But the update, again, if we look at the over in the air map, it makes the front line a bit more linear, whereas before you'd kind of be able to get away with defending one square in the center. Now, since your troops are limited to the squares that they were on the operational map, now they're going to be limited to that area in deployment. Hence, you end up with situations like this, which honestly, I like it. I think it's a welcome change. Not that these guys are not in a great position. This guy probably can't see, but it's cool to see these vehicles in action. Now, we have done a decent job, I'd say, though, pinning the Soviet infantry that have been attacking. It's anti-tank riflemen squad with some supplementing riflemen. So, I mean, it's only a matter of time before those rifles are going to, break through these lightly armored Martyrs. Well, all of them are fully operational right now, which is awesome. We have a pretty great killing sector over here, whatever you would like to call it. Kill zone, so to speak. 300 meters. I mean, once the infantry close, it's going to be bad news, but they are beginning to close. The Soviet advance is relentless. A very long front line, a 3-kilometer front line we're controlling here, so there's a lot going on. And again, I think the update does good things to spread the action out across the entirety of the map, rather than consolidating it into smaller areas. Although I'm sure in some operations with smaller amounts of units and varying starting circumstances, that will still be the case. But for now, I'm certainly enjoying how this is playing out. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty good. We have mortars firing over here. Have I mentioned I'm thankful that the Russians don't have artillery? Because if they did, we would be crying right now. Man, this is a tough advance. I'm glad these Martyrs are doing good. I mean, relatively speaking. They are equipped with a pretty lethal 7.5 centimeter gun, I believe. Unless they're equipped with the captured Russian variant. Nope, these are the Pack 40 variant. So either way, they're equipped pretty good cannon. And a coax, it looks like. Nope, that's them taking fire. Oh, we do have a coax, nice. See some infantry up there in the upper right-hand corner, laying down, hopefully, fire on these advancing Russians, kind of offering these Martyrs a little overwatch protection. Yeah, rifleman crew of, what is this, our command unit? A command unit. Anti-tank unit. Here on MG42, that's always nice. Yeah, I think this is a command element of one of our infantry companies. Laying down some nice supporting fire for our Martyrs. To what extent they can. I mean, this gun, for example, is almost a kilometer away, and he's lacking a very good field of fire. But every now and then, perhaps, see, yeah, there we go, a good line there. I mean, this is actually pretty good combat. Taking pretty heavy fire. Yeah, the communists is right. They are there. Yeah, I forgot. These guys are the command unit of these captured French guns over here. I think we only have one battery, but I mean, one is better than none. I did try to hide them. They're dug in this sunflower bed overlooking an avenue of the Soviet approach. Wow, nice. That was wonderful. What range are we at? 700 meters. See, you can't always trust the tool over here because, actually, let's see, where are they shooting? Yeah, they are. The tool would have you believe otherwise, but if you get down on the level, you can see that sometimes you get lucky and get a nice little slot to shoot through like this. And this is a prime example of sacrificing field of fire for cover. But I think in this operation, it's going to behoove us to conserve our unit strength as much as possible, especially heavy equipment like these guns. Oh, I thought these were, okay. These ones are, sorry, these are 5-centimeter German guns. This is also a 5-centimeter German gun. Where's our French capture? For some reason I love those French guns, so I do want to find where he's oh no. We lost him. Overrun. Totally missed that. It's unfortunate. Right as I was saying, I'd like to consolidate units, but to be honest, I didn't do much setup on this in terms of the operational map, so I don't even know what our full situation is. I kind of just wanted to get to playing and make a video because it had been a while. Recently moved, so life has been hectic, but it's not what we're here to talk about anyway. Oh no. We are about to be overrun. Might be time for a general retreat. Oh yeah, oof. Yeah, they have been overrun by the Soviet infantry. Ah, this is the one that uses the captured Russian anti-tank gun. The 36R, the 76 millimeter Russian regimental gun, I believe. Typically used in infantry support or anti-tank role. Well, we kind of knew that was going to happen. With these guys. These guys are... Oh, yes. I forgot. We did have a good victory over here, which did not get on video. Let's see. We took out a couple of KV tanks, which is honestly probably worth the loss of those Martyrs over there, I hope. And here are the tanks. A couple of KVs that were knocked out early on the far end of the front. Knocked out by this other side Martyrs. Again, in very good position on this strategic point of the Tsar Mohilisk. I'm sure someone will correct me on how that's pronounced. But I got lucky with these. They just came in right off the start at 300 meters or so. And we shot them mostly from the flank. There's excellent use of these guns, which well compensates for the poor placement of those. Seems like now we're taking some kind of artillery, probably company level mortars, but maybe something more unfortunate. I don't hear any of that distinctive popping. Although here is one mortar crew. Nothing we can do about that. Yeah, I think the Russians are going to take this. We are spread thin. And our deployment could have been better. This guy equipped with the semi-automatic Gewehr. I think it's a 41 or not sure what they model. Yeah, Gewehr 41. A couple of SVT 40s for semi-automatic rifles. Regulars, normal. So, not like they're green, but they're just in a unfortunate situation. I've also yet to see how our logistics are, so this is going to be a fun campaign. Luckily, we are going to put a hurting on them. We're in a very good position. Wow. Even the guy with the Luger is shooting, or his P-38 sidearm. The officer is engaged. With our machine gun assistants. Or staff members. Thank gosh we're dug in and in such great positions. Except for these poor martyrs again. I'm gonna get these guys out of here. Let's scrounge what we can. And let's just give them a fast order move here. No particular formation. Maneuver on. And fast. And then followed by a defensive order facing that way. Kind of a rendezvous point to fall back at. Yeah, we're going to get pushed back. Getting flanked over here. We don't really have any sufficient force on this side. Although this infantry platoon may be able to put some fire on the advancing Soviet units this way, but I think it's at range. 500 meters, 700 meters, yeah, it's gonna be, well, either way, we have a good battle. So yeah, the update makes for some pretty interesting gameplay, and I've never played this campaign operation to completion, so maybe I'll give it a try now. Sure seems like a good one. Not too overbearing compared to some of the DLC. I've played almost exclusively DLC, other than the early war operations in the main game. I pretty much started with early war and then stayed away from late war because I was intimidated. But late war is quite fun, despite the constant, you know, Soviet onslaught when you play as the Germans. It's still pretty fun. Gotta take the game for what it is. Yeah, you're certainly taking some losses. As is expected. Just waiting for that ceasefire or the end of the clock at this point. I mean, we're in good we are in good defensive positions, but not great. We have buildings, which aren't really very helpful. Your troops often just get clustered and die. We do have a good height advantage, so we have the terrain, which is pretty good. We have a lot of tree lines and some fields, but we do not have enough men or equipment, which August of 1943 makes sense. End of August of 1943. This is, after the failure at Kursk, so some lost offensive momentum. And I'm not as well versed on the Soviet offensives because I know there's just so many frontal offensives resulting in the collapse of all the German army groups essentially by 44, 45. But I know that at this point things are not going well for the Wehrmacht. The Soviets are starting to turn it around. Heavy fighting in the Ukraine. Oh, poor pack gunners. Again, not upset. They're in a pretty alright spot. Well, at least scenic. Still putting down fire, too, you love to see it. For a Soviet offensive, it's interesting that they didn't lead with more artillery or armor, which leads me to believe this might just be a recon element, and even if we were to hold, would get dislodged rather quickly, because they're going to follow up with artillery, armor, and heavy reserves of infantry. And this is obviously a German defensive line unit in 1943, equipped with captured Russian AT guns, and by 1943, August, July, honestly, I would call the 5-centimeter pack gun also obsolete. I mean, it's a 1938 model, and it's going to have trouble penetrating most Soviet medium and heavy armor. Although they still have a purpose. They're still devastating to infantry and light armor, and if positioned well, can get flanking shots on the heavier Soviet tanks. So, still potent, but the point I'm trying to make is these German units are not, armed to the teeth with the latest and greatest, or going to have the highest amount of reserves. Just because on, the grand scheme of things, Germany was lacking in manpower and equipment. So when you have to distribute that equipment between defending line units, all the alliance divisions, and at this point of the war, fronts in Italy and North Africa, you have to allocate equipment sparingly, and the Soviets are going to have, you would think, a fair amount of equipment compared to the Germans here. They have yet to offer a ceasefire. You can see these Soviets over here advancing on the position formerly occupied by the Martyrs. Advancing through the open. Although, with micro-terrain and a fair amount of cover and concealment for infantrymen, they are breaking into the outskirts of the village, defending the strategic heights. The Russian advance met with limited German resistance in some sectors and heavy resistance in others. That's the best thing about Graviteam, is getting to recreate these historic battles. And every update is, in my opinion, an improvement generally in gameplay quality, which increases the overall experience and immersion. So, very happy with recent updates. Wow, I'm surprised I had never played this this operation before. It's not nearly as daunting as I thought it would be, but obviously getting pushed back, but not getting destroyed like I was on what was it? Final Offensive, perhaps? A fun, small-sized operation, showcasing some pretty neat equipment, and a great tactical situation in terms of an enjoyable struggle with a lot of interesting terrain. This is not good. Wow. Someone just saved a couple of those pack gunners' lives. That was neat. You guys don't know how lucky you are. Although maybe you do, judging by your 5 dead comrades. Any survivors are about to be captured by the Soviets. So yeah, I recommend you run and grab a rifle over there, Mr. Pistol. Scheisse indeed. Hand grenades. Bad news. Yeah, these guys are as good as done for. Ivan throwing grenades at the other gun. He just went down. Yep. This is unfortunate for these guys. Guess it had some hydraulics in it before it had to go out. Sad scene for the Germans. Wonder if these are guards. They're advancing with ferocity. Oh. And then the machine gunner who was leading the charge was shot by an artilleryman with his sidearm. You're going to be getting a posthumous Iron Cross. Gefreiter, who's probably wounded. This is where heroes are killed, judging by the rifleman, or some machine gunner who's right behind him. And we thankfully have a ceasefire offer, which I probably missed a little bit earlier, but that's okay. Better late than never. I mean, it would have been nice to actually keep those gun batteries, but war is war. And now I'm curious to see the dispersion of land territory control, since I'm sure the update has some effect on that. Well, we inflicted heavy casualties on them, and we control the same amount of weighted area, so it seems like we did not lose. That is very surprising. Although, in all reality, we did, because we lost a lot of equipment. 9 vehicles, and we only destroyed 2. KVs, so we lost a lot of armor and an entire battery. Unfortunate. I don't know how this happened, but they abandoned their gun crew. Or, sorry, the gun crew abandoned their mortar. Interesting. Don't know why or how. Damaged 45mm gun by one of the Martyrs at 635 meters. Interesting. And here are our KVs. One destroyed. One they were apparently able to recover. Oh. Interesting. We didn't do great, but it's alright. Let's see the front situation. Okay, so we lost a little bit, but not... I guess we lost the key point, but not the full square. Very interesting. Hopefully we'll be able to stage some counterattacks, but if not, I'm sure we will fall back to this northwestern or upper left quadrant with some dug-in defenses. So, yeah, until then, see you guys next time. Thanks for watching the video, and as always, leave whatever feedback you have. And thanks for watching. I think I already said that. Later.